This thing of
Step right up to North of Normal, the podcast where the land of 10,000 lakes meets the edge of sanity. No two shows are the same because these clowns can't agree on anything. Same crew, never the same circus. Why North of Normal? These guys are so north, they're basically in Santa's outhouse. And so crazy, they make a moose in flops look sane. Say hello to the Chaos Crew. Mike Reeves, the guy who owns more shoes than Minnesota has state parks. A true romantic who can't decide between pizza or pizza for dinner. Matt Benz, the self-proclaimed Yoda of the group, with no social life because let's face it, bread never sleeps, and neither does he. Last, there's Greg Green Bay Bauman, the grizzled elder of the group, who majored in history, so no fact checks needed. Just ask the cholesterol bomb himself. Strap in, folks. This is North of Normal.
Two of us, Greggy.
wow, we had to make some cuts. There are some budget cuts that need to be made.
We're down to the roster size, a nice even number that we like, we enjoy. But we're back after a nice little summer break. Episode 108, Frosted Flake. Matty Benz.
Where you at, buddy?
Where you at? The bread man.
Bread might never sleep, but Matt does need a break every now and again. I do think it's funny though how you said we took a summer break.
Well,
the reason why we didn't have a show is I'm traveling around the country. You are getting married, for God's sakes.
Yep.
So it's not like we were just sitting back on a beach somewhere.
No, we don't get a lot of R&R. We have a lot going on.
So how is married life?
Married life is wonderful, Greg.
Yeah.
As you know, after the marriage from before the marriage, not much changes.
Yep.
There's not like some bulb that, turns blue in your living room. But it is a different vibe. I mean, when you get to marry your best friend, you walk with a little bit more pep in your step.
Yeah.
And honestly, ever since I dreamed of my wedding as a young lad, it went without a hitch by far. I talked about this before. When you have a child, it's a different energy.
Yeah.
But that was by far the best day of my life.
Yeah,
for sure. And it was just great.
There was, I've been to a lot of weddings, and your wedding was perfect for everything from things you can't control, like the weather, all that type of stuff, to the things that you can. Everything was just done by design, and it was perfect.
Yep.
And it was, it's just, everything just went off great. And it was just really impressive.
Well, part of the perfection came from GBG's side of it. He was our priest and our MC, and he worked very hard and did a wonderful job. Everybody commented on how great not only he did, but how well everything went. So
thank you. The reception part of it, I just wanted everyone to have fun, but yet keep things in line. For the ceremony, for the actual ceremony, I have never been that nervous to speak in front of the public in my entire life, and I've given a lot of eulogies. But like I compared
your dad's.
Yeah, when I compared this to my dad's eulogy, was in no way, I wasn't even a tenth of as nervous for my dad's eulogy as I was for your wedding, because when you do a eulogy, everyone understands that it's completely emotion.
Right.
I felt, now I'm not saying that this is the way it has to be, I felt that at your wedding, I had to be the one that didn't have emotion. I had to be the one who kept things on the straight and narrow. I knew that you were going to be emotional,
which I was.
Yes. I knew Chantel was, as tough as she is on the exterior, I know her well enough to know that the littlest thing could have broke her.
And she was very nervous.
Yeah.
You could tell the whole time. She doesn't like to be seen.
Yeah.
And here she is getting married in her wedding dress. You're never more seen in your life than on that day. So that's not her thing.
And I worked on my sermon, if you want to call it that, for about 4 months. But the line that I'd use to start the whole thing off was meant for, I had that planned for 6 months, and it was meant to just calm everyone's nerves. And I thought I nailed it.
Yeah.
So for those of you who weren't there, Mike is up there. Everyone walks up. Chantel comes up. I just say to everyone, could you please be seated? And I looked around and I said, I don't know about the rest of you, but when I watched Chantel walk down the aisle in all of her beauty, my only thought was, I wonder what Mike's going to ask the genie for with his other 2 wishes. And I'm like, I needed to say that because I'm like, that's going to calm Chantel down. It's going to put her at ease. You're going to be relaxed, because I knew there was a part of you that was like, how is he going to start this off?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it, I'm an old school romantic.
Yep.
So, you normies out there don't know, you weren't there unless you saw the video. That was well done. Same guy that did our intro video for this, Life of Corp. Check him out online. Andrew did a great job for our wedding video, but I didn't want to see her until she walked down the aisle.
Yeah.
And it was like an out of body experience that moment.
Yeah.
Because it was like just the most beautiful bride you've ever seen. That's about, walking down to be my wife. And so like, I mean, not much could have gone wrong at that, but you could have been speaking in Mandarin for the beginning, and I wouldn't have noticed, for about 18 seconds. And then I'd have been like, Greg, what the fuck? English, please.
Yeah. Well, what I thought made it really cool was the way that you guys kept it so personal. You gave all of your groomsmen a hug
Yep.
something on the way in. It really, kept it really intimate, and the setting, that church that was probably 150 years old,
Yeah.
was just a beautiful setup. Me and Jamie were sitting in there a half hour before just talking about it.
Yeah. It was cool.
It was cool. So yeah. And then other than that, so the day before, or the day of Mike's rehearsal, I was driving back from Omaha, stopped in, we do the rehearsal, do the wedding, and then the next day after I leave,
you had a busy lead up.
Yeah, I then had to go to Georgia. So yeah, and then the week before that was a lot of health concerns in my house, and Olivia's graduation and graduation party. So we had family in town from all over the country and all that. So it was pretty hectic. The last thing we were thinking about was, when are we going to do episode 108?
Yeah.
And then
that wasn't on the mind for sure.
And then after things got settled down, we're like, okay, we got to get back over at Absolute. So, which, by the way, for those of you who watch the show but aren't into sports cards, they got over here at Absolute, they got this amazing new like Pokemon thing going on, and they've been advertising it on Facebook. But if you got little kids, they're all into it. I don't, whether or not you know it, any kid under the age of like 10, 11.
Well, you can be an adult and get
Yeah.
Pokemon cards because you can sell them for money.
Yeah, but all these kids are into it. Adults get into it. It's the thing to do. This isn't just baseball and football here. They got hockey, Pokemon, everything you can think of.
Well, and if you're not local, I'm pretty sure you can go on what, Dom? eBay, their website, Absolute Sports Cards, Savage, Minnesota. You can bid on cars from Jamaica, man. So get on there, find them. We're live on location, Absolute Sports Cards. And we are brought to you by, again, Daily Defense Law.
Yes.
He's back. He's paid. And
we can start talking about him again.
We can start talking about him. Yeah. Yeah. The sponsorship has been paid in full. So if you find yourself in some legal issues, go to dailydefensemn.com.
Nice. I got something I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
Because you know me, I'm big into comparing different aspects of society.
Yes.
So one thing I want to talk about first is the idea why entitlement never works long term. It's always better in life, in no matter what you're talking about, to earn something rather than get something.
Correct.
And a perfect example of that happened last night in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark scored 45 points and 10 assists. That is the fourth time.
45.
What's that?
45?
45 points.
Okay.
And it's the most points. It's the most points in 40-10 games. She had 45 and 10. In her career, which is in her third year, which most of last year she was hurt. So however many games that is, not a lot is my point.
Yep.
She's had 40. She's had 4 30 plus, 10 plus, 40 plus, 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds games. She's had 4 of them. The rest of the WNBA in their history, every player that's ever played in the WNBA has 4 combined.
Really?
She has as many as everybody else, but this is my point. She's punched, she's belittled, she's pushed, she's beaten. She was listed in a recent vote by WNBA players as the 11th best point guard in the league. She is in her 3rd year, and she's already the greatest female to ever play basketball, if you ask me. Now, here's the thing. This is my point. The WNBA, everyone talks about it. They've been subsidized by the NBA since its beginning. They don't make enough money to pay the players what they want to get paid. It's just a fact. I'm not going to argue, the legitimacy of it. It's just a fact. They pay for the NBA pays for it. Then they want to lock out. They give them more money, which is more money from the NBA given to the WNBA.
Yes.
Yeah, they raise ticket prices. The reason you guys are getting this is because of Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying that you have to roll out the red carpet for her, literally. Like, I have, fireworks displays when you announce her name in away games. What I'm saying is that don't bite the hand that feeds you. If that girl wants to say it one day, I'm going to Europe to play, the WNBA will fold in 5 minutes.
We talked about this a few months ago when we were talking about the WNBA, and from a marketing aspect, it's failing as a business. I remember when the season was starting and they're highlighting the teams on their ABC Sunday games. They have like player cards, of the matchups.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have Caitlin Clark as the listed player of her team for that matchup.
Yeah.
That's an epic fail by the WNBA's marketing team.
And
they clearly don't want to make her the face.
Yeah.
But she is.
She by far. There's no way around it. And you look at that in comparison to the LeBron James decision.
Yep.
Now, LeBron James, there's 2 sides of this. I fully think that LeBron James has earned the right, as much as I don't like him as a person, because I think my personal feelings from his side.
Yeah.
He is the 2nd best player to ever play in the NBA. And he has earned the right to handle this situation any way he wants. And he's
41 years old.
And he'll deal with the consequences of it. He dealt with the consequences of the decision. And he was fine. That's literally the worst blemish on his career record, which is nothing.
Right.
Now, I believe a lot of people. I believe that he's not going to make the decision this weekend because he doesn't want to take attention away from the World Cup, and he understands.
And
he understands who he is as a person. He understands that he's going to generate a lot of interest, so he's going to wait. I also understand the side where Adam Silver in the NBA is like, "Hey, LeBron, you want to make a decision here because we have a schedule that needs to get out."
When do they actually have to release that though? They can do that whenever they
can. I mean, it's not immediate,
right?
But you want to look at your Christmas games, your New Year's.
I get it. There's a lot of planning that goes into it,
and they want to know who to highlight. So there's a fine line. So there's both sides of it. But this goes back to, my original point. If you just give someone something they haven't earned, they're not going to appreciate it. If the NBA would never subsidize the WNBA and they had to earn their right or earn their place in the sports entertainment landscape, it would look a lot different. They would be playing in, college arenas,
overseas,
a lot of overseas games, things like that. But they were just given a lot of things. So now what's the problem? The problem with that is you forget about the blood, the sweat, and the tears that it would have taken you to get there on your own. It's kind of like when you're 16 years old. If you get your driver's license and you want to work over the summer and you want to work every day because you want a Corvette, I'm going back
to
my
car.
You want a Corvette, and it costs $15,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there back in my day. Hypothetical. Well, you're saving, you're taking the bus, you're taking your bike, you're doing this, you're walking, you're getting rides every day to get to work because you want to get to $15,000 for your Corvette. Well, along the way, you might change what your actual goals are. You no longer, think like, okay, I want the flashy red sports car. You're like, wait a second, I'm working my ass off. All I really want is a reliable form of transportation to get me to and from work, to and from my friend's house, be able to take my girlfriend out, whatever you want to do at that age.
Yeah.
So you might then spend $10,000 and get a Toyota Corolla because that fits your needs once you've started to put in the sweat equity. So
once life continues to progress, your goalpost moves. For instance, with me, I had a weight loss goal.
Yes.
I had a target in mind for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I've far surpassed that.
Yes.
And have continued to move that goalpost because it's what more can I achieve off of it?
Yeah.
Life takes a turn this way and you continue to kind of change with it and adapt.
Yeah. It's a perfect comparison. And it's just my point is that I wonder, where would WNBA players be if they weren't just given, it's kind of like the phrase you hear, in sports is, you woke up on third and act like you hit a triple.
This won't be a good popular take, Greg, but they wouldn't be around.
No, which is why it's like, don't bite the hand that feeds you and just be appreciative for what you got. And when you see an opportunity to grow it, don't punch it in the throat.
Well, and they also aren't ran very well. The commissioner of the WNBA wasn't even going to suspend the player that punched her in the throat. And then you had to have Big Daddy step up, Adam Silver, and say no. And she'll end up, the commissioner, she'll lose her job.
She will
at the end of the season.
Yeah. They've already talked about that. So, okay, moving on. That's my next one.
If you didn't know, Greg's favorite sports player, not just women's player, is Caitlin Clark. He's in love. Is she on your list?
My list?
Your list?
No.
Okay. You just respect her, but you don't.
I'm 50. She's on my list. It's like, oh, would I love for her to be friends with my daughter?
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
He was on a podcast recently and he was talking about he's 21 years older than his sister.
Okay.
So he has a picture, obviously, when he's 21 years old, he's holding his baby sister. Mm-hmm. And he laughed at his wife because his wife and his sister are the same age.
That's hilarious.
21 years difference. So you could do it, Greg.
I'm extremely happy with where I'm at. I have a lot of respect for Caitlin Clark because she is tough. When you watched her play at Iowa, she wasn't, your prototypical 3-point shooter, spot up, your JJ Redick, your Steph Curry.
Yep.
She's also an amazing passer. She's a great rebounder. And she's willing to throw elbows.
She's feisty.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about her. And people are like, well, she brings it on herself. It's like, well, yeah, a little bit. The chippiness and in your face. And that's the competitive nature. That's what you want out of sports.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you should get thrown to the ground and punched in the throat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not sports.
Yeah. So my next thing I want to discuss with you, would it be fair? Now, by the way, I'm going to be just straight up. I'm going to walk you into the answer I want you to say, but you're not going to disagree with me at any point along the way.
Okay, perfect. This will be fun.
Would it be fair to say?
Fair to say. That's a great way to state it.
Yeah. That 4 of the best attributes that you would put on a quarterback in the NFL are durability, like Herm Edwards says, your best ability is availability, accuracy, intelligence, and ability to win. Would you say that those are the top? If you were looking for your best quarterback, those 4 would be the top of the list.
Top of the list, I'd add a 5th, and I'd need athleticism.
Well, when I'm talking, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Durability and athleticism are different.
Yeah.
But I would put those 4 at the top.
Okay.
But I'd also, when I'm a scout and I'm a GM and I can't have you be a Joe Flacco ain't getting it done.
Correct.
Anymore.
Now, what I did with that was I took durability, accuracy, intelligence, and just ability to win.
Yep.
And I took the 4 quarterbacks from the history of the NFL. And when I say history, Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
That that have been openly discussed as the best in those 4 categories.
Okay.
So you have Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Though you can't argue. I mean, I'm not saying that you wouldn't put one would be 2, one would be. Those are the 4 that are always brought up as Mr. Ironman durability. Brett Favre.
Yep.
The most accurate quarterback throwing to the football. You hear it all the time. Aaron Rodgers. Smartest quarterback ever. Peyton Manning. The best winner. Tom Brady. That is the only Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks you can ever have, because and I want to say this to the heavens. Everyone always wants, as soon as they want to start talking about the best of the best, they always say, who's your Mount Rushmore? Who's your Mount Rushmore? Well, I'm not just going there next week with the family. I've been there before. I've studied Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore was never at any point ever designed to be the 4 best presidents of all time.
Correct.
It is, they represent 4 different eras of our country.
It's a representation of us
of our country over the course of 150 years.
Correct.
And so what I find funny about it is everyone always talks about who's your Mount Rushmore. First of all, Mount Rushmore was supposed to have more than 4 faces on it. They just ran out of room.
Is it true? Like, what's that movie where you go inside Mount Rushmore?
Oh,
it was like a kids movie back in the 90s.
Well,
where they like it's inside.
Well, in the movie, I just watched this with Becky a couple months ago because it was like one of those Saturdays where it was raining and it came on TV and neither one of us wanted to grab the remote. Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Where the 4 faces are the 3 faces are the family. And then behind it that's where they keep their riches.
Okay.
That's where their safe is.
But that's not true. It's just
no, it is a secret vault in there.
There is something up there.
Yeah. Yeah. They've openly discussed that. Now, what they say it's like a cavern of historical blah, blah, blah. You know, what's back there? Who knows?
The Illuminati. That's where they meet. That's board
the
meetings.
round table where the Illuminati meets.
Yes.
When they can't get underneath the Denver airport.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. So my point to that is I just hate it when people say things like, who's your Mount Rushmore? It's like Mount Rushmore was never designed to be the top 4. It's these 4 represent these eras, just like pick the 4 best attributes to a quarterback.
What would you like them to say? What's an alternate route that they could
really,
take instead?
All of our, it's like, why not just have a top 3? Who's your top 3? Who's your top 5?
Part of it is if you put a Mount Rushmore, it's going to change throughout history.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like you could add presidents now to the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
But you won't.
No.
So it's forever changing, like Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Would he be in the Mount Rushmore of things at some point? Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
and I just hate the way that they word it without thinking it through, because if you were to take the same 4 attributes that they used to figure out who is going to be on Mount Rushmore, the 4 people that you would have on for the NFL would be Bart Starr, Joe Namath, Art Rooney, and Roger Goodell. Because you would have Washington would be, his comparison would be Bart Starr, the first to be there when when the league's Joe Namath, because it's openly been said that if the Jets did not win Super Bowl III, which was known as the World Championship game at that point, if they don't win that, then the AFL and NFL do not combine. They would that would have been 3 straight years. They would have said, look, this isn't worth it. You guys aren't there yet. It would have probably taken 20 years.
So it's huge for the product of the NFL today.
And then your comparison to Abraham Lincoln would have been Art Rooney.
Yep.
And then your comparison for Theodore Roosevelt, which is about the preservation of the land and the beauty of the land, would have had to have gone to Roger Goodell because of expansion to Europe.
He's done a great job.
Yeah.
The fact that he gets booed every year is funny, but he does do a great job. So if you were building the Mount Rushmore, let's say on your trip you get to go and they say, Greg, we're going to redo this.
Yeah.
Who are we putting up there?
Like 4 presidents?
Yes.
I think that you have to put George Washington. I would put my 4 that represent America the best would have to be, and I'm going to be completely bipartisan here.
Okay.
George Washington.
I'm with you there.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln, JFK.
Nope.
He's on mine.
FDR.
Okay.
And Ronald Reagan.
I would go JFK and Ronald Reagan.
See, here's the problem with JFK.
There's no problem with him. The guy's an
JFK
American
was
treasure.
actually, and
He's an American treasure, Greg.
He is, but during the times when he was breathing air,
Yes,
and he was the president of the United States, he was not good at it.
I understand a lot of it gets glorified after the fact, and then the more they dig and go into a lot of it's just like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah,
right. It's glorification, and I love it.
See, the thing is if anyone who says that JFK was a great president and accomplished a lot doesn't give enough credit to LBJ. When Lyndon Johnson took over the presidency on the plane, everyone's seen the video of, Jackie Kennedy right next to him on the plane getting sworn in with the blood on her dress, that his entire presidency, and he openly said this, was to fulfill the promises of JFK. The reason why we landed on the moon in July of 1969 was because JFK said 10 years earlier, 8 years earlier, whatever it was, before the end of this decade, we will land a man on the moon. So LBJ, to fulfill all of the promises of JFK, went through the civil rights movement, all this stuff. But when you exclusively take the presidency of John F. Kennedy while he was alive, the only two things that he ever accomplished, the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Bay of Pigs invasion, two of the worst things that happened in our country in the 20th century.
Wow.
So
it doesn't all have to be about the presidency while he was breathing.
And that's why
it could be the aura
and I don't
him
disagree
as a whole.
I think that his ideas, which became fulfilled, were great. I'd put him in the top 10.
And I'll never stand up to you on the history of anything, but I can have opinions, Greg.
No, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that you have the same opinion of him that a lot of people do, which is
I'm fascinated.
He is a fascinating person.
I have been I remember reading even just Jackie married to Aristotle Onassis and like that whole thing. They had the Kennedys as a whole is quite fascinating.
Yeah.
But even the son, if you haven't seen that show on FX, Love Story.
Oh, I haven't.
It's RFK Jr.
Okay.
And the guy that plays him, phenomenal. And it was about him and his wife that they end up ultimately dying in a plane crash.
Yeah.
But very good.
You said RFK Jr. He's JFK Jr.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. I that was one of those things where it was like when they died in the plane crash, it was weird because he was like in the spotlight but didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Yep.
And it was just a very confusing thing because he's married to kind of a celebrity, but not really a celebrity. And he dies, and it's like, what, I mean, he had just started the magazine, George.
Yep.
All that. And it's like, it was just really confusing for me because I was like you. I was fascinated by the family, but it didn't make sense. But it was before we were all fascinated with conspiracy theories,
I'm always up for a good conspiracy.
Absolutely. Theory. Yeah. So what do you think about, or I shouldn't say, what did you think? What do you think of the World Cup?
Speaking of fascinated, I've always, over the years I've grown. So when World Cup first became big for me was Ronald Nino.
Okay.
He was my first, he looks like Tiger Woods, kind of, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. So I had watched it then, and then over the years followed a little. This year, probably the most, most Americanized for me, just because this is probably the best we've been in many years. And we're expected to do well, where in other years we weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't expected to win it by any means. But I like it. I love Messi. I had an argument with the children earlier this week. They're big Cristiano Ronaldo fans.
Okay.
And I'm a Messi fan.
Good.
I think if anybody is up for the GOAT conversation, it would probably be Messi versus Ronaldo, not Cristiano, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But then Layla asks, Alexa, who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi? And Alexa goes, she said Cristiano Ronaldo. I said, don't listen to this dumb bitch. And I asked Google. Google's much smarter. Google said Messi, but then it shows a picture of their stats. And I was actually quite surprised that they're very comparable, which I don't like to give Messi is what, 5'6". I mean, has to work hard for.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo is like a Greek god that was sculpted and molded by Zeus himself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that pretty and that good. I mean, there's got to be something, something wrong. But yeah, I mean, good for him. But yeah, it's intriguing. It's fun, right? It's all the countries, America.
I love the. I mean, let's not deny the fact that because it was in America, and I mean it like because it was in America and the games were all going to be on times that we could watch it or pay attention to it, obviously grew the interest.
Yeah.
It was fun to take in, but unlike 99% of other Americans, I'll be the first to admit I don't know anything about soccer.
I don't know a ton about it either. And I have 2 kids in it.
Yeah. And some of your best friends played it competitively throughout college.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm fascinated by the sport, but I don't understand the strategy, and that's okay. I'm not asking someone to call me up and explain it to me. I don't care. But what I do find funny is that every American in the world had an opinion on what was and wasn't a penalty. And it's like, you don't know.
Right.
You've never watched a soccer game in your life. This is not the same as 10-year-old Jimmy pushing over 10-year-old Susie and not getting orange slices after the game. This isn't the soccer that you're used to.
Yes.
And it's
different.
like, yeah. And someone said this on the radio earlier this week because they were talking about the American team. And they said, you have to understand that the teams that are playing in the Final Four are, like your England's, your Argentina, your France, and your Spain. Those teams are the New England Patriots,
the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks.
And America, unfortunately, is the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
We belong in there. We will have some good plays, but at the end of the game, we're not going to win.
Well, and I found it funny that some of our, and again, I don't follow it as much as everybody.
Yeah.
But some of the American players, their names didn't seem real American to me. Yeah. It's like, where did we get this guy? Can you actually make trades with Argentina to get this guy? Because our best player that was not an American name.
That brings up the GIF that I sent you and Matt during the Olympics when it was a picture of the United States gold medal winning women's ping pong team. And it was 5 Asian girls.
Yeah. It's like, no, the math isn't math in here.
It's like, hey, it is what it is. But good hand-eye coordination. But
and we're actually going to so a lot of people might not know this. Big sports guy. We're in a sports card studio. We talk a lot of sports on the show. My Vikings, number 1.
Yep.
Right? Timberwolves, definitely number 2.
Yep.
The Minnesota United FC is number 3.
Moving up on the list.
They have moved up.
Yeah, you go to a couple games a year.
1 for sure.
Okay,
Yep. It's rare it's 2, but Kinley and I, it's just turned into, we randomly went one year, bought really nice seats, and have made it every single year since. We enjoy it. The nice thing about soccer, which is why I like my kids in it and watching them in it, is it's fast paced.
Yeah.
It's moving. It doesn't stop. That's why they add the time at the end, because they just keep the play going. So it's fun. It's exciting. Like, especially if they're scoring goals, and the vibe of our stadium is small, intimate. Like, it's almost like a college atmosphere. They have the whole fan or, not a student section per se, but it's the same type deal. They're banging drums.
Like a rowdier fan section.
Yeah. Banging drums the whole time. And, fairly inexpensive, stuff there. It's just a fun time.
Yeah.
And so we've really enjoyed it. And I don't follow them like I would the Wild or the Twins, but as an overall team that I like out of this state, they're 3rd.
Yeah.
And I own a couple jerseys.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
Nice.
Another local guy made his UFC debut.
Yeah.
And I was very interested. The Conor McGregor was a huge letdown.
Yeah. I
don't know if you watched any of that since it switched over to Paramount Plus.
No, I didn't watch it, but I didn't watch it live, but I saw it after. I'm like, this is the same Conor McGregor. And then the next day he's talking about making a doing like another fight.
Well, of course, he made $16 million for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gable Stevenson.
Yep.
Stevenson.
I think it's Stevenson. Gabe, but he's got a weird first name, like Gable.
Gable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird name. He was went to Apple Valley High School, then went on to the Gophers to win national championships as a wrestler.
Was it 3 or 4 that he won?
Well, he won an Olympic gold as well. And then went on very short stint in the WWE and now has transferred over to the UFC where he was 3-0 making his debut. I was very excited. Very, very. I'm not a huge UFC guy, but I like to see people fight.
Yeah.
And I was interested to see a wrestling background, how he would. I mean, the dude's jacked. He's a heavyweight. And he won without anything on the ground. First round knockout.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a fighter.
Which is funny because he's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler, and that's what I expected is he's going to be trained to take the guy on the ground and win on the ground.
Yeah.
And so I think there's big things coming for him.
Yeah.
I will tune in often. I'm a little less of a fan today than I was the day before that fight, though, because he was not fighting out of Minnesota.
Oh,
he was fighting out of some other state, which I think has to be maybe where you train.
Probably.
But you're a Minnesota guy.
Give
us some credit here.
Which is funny because I wonder if part of that has to do with like taxes. You know what I mean? It's like
maybe,
it could have something to do with where he's
fighting out of Miami.
Yeah.
No state tax.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I would be for sure.
Yeah. It's like I can pick Minnesota, the highest tax state, or Florida that doesn't have taxes,
So we talked a little bit about my wedding.
Yep.
It was probably the biggest wedding of the summer so far, but close second was the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift wedding.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah.
And that was done at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
But I heard it actually wasn't. I heard they were married prior.
Yeah, I'd heard the same thing.
And I think it was their wedding was on 4th of July weekend.
It was like the actual 4th of July.
Okay, actual 4th of July.
Which is that Saturday.
If I were a betting man, which I am, I would bet that their wedding, can you guess it? Their wedding date. Their real wedding date.
Well,
pretty easy. If you're a Swiftie, they're screaming at the screen right now. Greg.
Yeah,
Greg.
well, it would have to be the 13th.
June 13th.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're a Swiftie. Are one of those bracelets
No, I bought Becky for Christmas last year earrings that they were Travis Kelce jerseys. One was 87, one was 13. So because she's big into this. And so I knew that her favorite number was 13.
The best thing to come, agree or disagree? The best thing to come from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship is the lifting up of Jason Kelce and Kylie.
100%.
100%. They're by far the best couple.
Yes. And their daughters too.
Yeah.
Those 4 little girls. Well, one of them's like a baby,
Yeah.
but the 3 that can, communicate are hilarious when you watch the podcast. But absolutely. I think that, first of all, Kylie Kelce, when she gave the commencement speech at her old college, which is some, small college in Philadelphia or
Sure.
whatever, wherever it is, that she started off by saying, congratulations, you got the 5th most famous Kelce to speak here. And she's like, and my daughters are slowly moving up higher to me. It's just such a funny, but just great family to follow.
Yeah. Well, they're very down to earth. You can't relate to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Or Travis Kelce. He's he's NFL, and so is his brother Jason.
Yeah.
But Jason was an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
He met his wife on Tinder and, passed out drunk their first date, basically. Like, that's relatable.
Exactly.
Having your own reality dating show, not related.
Yeah. And then when you come to the NFL, you have your own reality dating show. and then you fall off the social media, radar for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're dating Taylor Swift, the most famous female on the planet.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
I hope it lasts forever.
Yeah. I mean, they are just, I really do think that I believe them, especially when she says things like, this is the type of, thing that I've dreamed about my whole life, because she has lived in a secluded, music Hollywood world.
Yeah.
And then when you bring in this large behemoth of an athlete into her life, it would be easy for someone like her to be like, this is what was missing from my life.
Oh, it's not a show.
No. Yeah.
By any means. And until I saw the podcast with her on it.
Yeah.
Then I was 100% bought in.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked her.
She seems, I mean, when you
never liked her before.
I never paid attention to her before because her music's on all the time. And I'm the type of person that doesn't want to get to know the personality behind people who sing songs because it ruins it for me.
Okay.
Like, I like Billie Eilish's songs. They're catchy. I hate her views as a person.
Yeah.
She's the most ignorant human being I've ever heard in front of a microphone. So that's why I don't.
But you can separate church and state with basketball.
Well, absolutely.
You can do it in music too.
Yeah, but but I'm not as big into music as I am into sports, so it's easier for me to just tune that part out of it. So I've always just tuned out Taylor Swift. But once she got to be dating Travis Kelce, you get to know her or what she feels like letting us in on.
Yes.
And she's a lovely person.
She's
lovely.
Great. She's funny. Yeah. She's a little edgy.
Yeah.
This is going to get some good views.
Yeah.
All you got to do is hashtag Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's what we're going to do. We should rename this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Swifty.
We should just make a Swift podcast.
Yeah.
That would elevate us to new heights.
Or we could just. Nice.
You like how I did that?
I see what you did there. We could just rename it. And then they'd be watching, we'd have 5 million 13-year-old girls watching our show and be like, why are they talking about Caitlin Clark? Who cares about Mount Rushmore?
Right.
He's talking about Swift. 25 minutes in.
That's how you get them.
Yeah. You gotta hook them.
Bait and switch.
Yep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of driving because I don't do enough of that for my job. So driving out to Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas.
It's going to be a great trip.
It's going to be, well, the best part about the trip is going to be the 15-year-old who has his temps. It's going to be he's going to be able to log in a lot of hours.
As he should.
And
this is primetime real estate. And you're just driving straight.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, I'm renting a car and it's got perfect good alignment.
I've made that drive and it's not great. I mean, there's a lot of nothing. So it's a perfect time you got this. You can have one adult kind of watch.
Let's see what you do if you drive west from Minnesota into South Dakota on I-90. You have to have a game with your family. Maybe it's a quarter. Well, it can't be a quarter because you'll run out of money. I don't care how much money you have. But what you do, you play some sort of a game about find the wall drug billboard.
The wall drug.
Because the most I've ever counted was, it was in the 90s for the amount of billboards to say wall drug up ahead, wall drug this. It was close to 100.
Not Chris Lindahl.
But seriously, if you drive on I-90 west to Mount Rushmore area, wall drug is right before it. And there's so many wall drug signs that it's unbelievably just ridiculous, but it's a great way to pass time.
So is this the only trip then planned so far for the year?
Other than just my taking Olivia to school stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we planned our honeymoon.
Yep.
So that's our only trip so far.
Yep.
Probably it.
Yeah.
I know I won't be going to a Vikings game. But yeah, we're going to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And I can't wait for that.
You're really going to love that.
I can't wait.
Because when I went to Riviera Maya, which is, and don't quote me on this, but it's that whole...
It's further down the coast.
That whole Yucatan Peninsula, I think it goes Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Riviera Maya, and then there's other ones.
I think you're right.
You're right in the middle. So you're perfect for being close to other things if you ever want to just do an excursion and leave? I know you're in an all-inclusive.
Yep. And we were looking, and that was one thing I was wondering too. I was just on the app earlier this week looking at excursions, and then I see Cancun ones, and I'm like, well, how am I going to get to, then I got to pay to get to Cancun, which I believe is like 35, 40 minutes from. So I'm trying to find ones just in or around Playa.
Well, the nice thing is,
am I saying that right, or is it Playa?
Playa. You're right, Playa.
Okay, Playa.
Go on the website of your resort.
Yep.
Because they'll have like buses, shuttles.
Sure.
That'll take you to certain excursions.
Well, and some of them through this app has that set up too. Because the main one we're gonna do is in Playa. I could maybe walk. I don't know where it's at. I don't know if you want to walk.
You really don't.
Yeah. But it's not cheap to get this stuff. You know, a couple days of excursions, you're $500-$600.
Oh yeah.
You know, after you already spent $4,000 on a trip, all the money you're gonna spend. I mean, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be great to get away from the kids, enjoy just a week, our first trip together.
Yep.
In Mexico on a beach.
Yep.
I can't wait. That's the nice thing with life, with everything that goes on, all the bad shit, the work, the stress, when you can have stuff stretched out maybe every 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll even take that twice a year.
Yeah.
To look forward to.
Yep.
We had the wedding for a year where it was like, we're planning, we're getting ready, we're excited, get to get married. And then it happens.
Yep.
And it goes by like that.
Yep.
You know, thank God we got that video. We can relive it. We're still waiting on our photos.
Yep.
Excited for those. But then it's like, boom, we move that goalpost a little further down.
Yep.
Now we got a honeymoon.
Yep.
Then we're gonna have to, you got to have something to look forward to. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing?
Absolutely. And it was the same thing. It was like, I was so obsessed for so long about, and I mean, that is a big problem in life, is I was so obsessed for so long about Olivia's college that I never stopped to enjoy her graduating from high school. And it was, and I've admitted this to her, it was my own fault, but it was because she excelled so much in high school. I never really honored it because it seemed like, well, yeah, your big challenge is going to be ahead of you at Creighton.
Yeah, you're already looking forward.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like that shouldn't take away from the joy of the experience.
Right.
Stop
and smell the roses.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what was nice about, that whole thing, having like family in town and all that, is you just really just enjoy it for that moment.
Yeah.
And then you move on and then you start doing it. But I'm like you. It's like we got this trip planned for next week, and then we're already like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
You and I were already talking. You and I were talking yesterday about, how to, save up as much vacation time as possible and what are you using it for, and already planning PTO time that you don't even have yet.
Well, just even the small stuff too. Like this weekend, daughter's got to work all weekend. I'm like, we got to go swimming.
Yeah,
we got to find a pool. We got to, I can't spend after this work week. I can't, as much as I like to just chill.
Yeah,
I need to do something.
Yeah.
So we're going to go swimming today.
Nice. Yeah. For Father's Day, yeah, Becky felt the same way. She's like, I'm like, we don't have to do anything for Father's Day. And then before you know it, like 10 minutes later, she's like, let's go. Grab Connor. We're going kayaking. Just to get out of the house, just to do something. Yeah, and it was perfect. It was the perfect day.
So I was scrolling the internet last week, and you play fantasy football, right?
Been there. Yep.
For years. You were playing it when you guys were chiseling it on stone,
which is not that far of an exaggeration. Yes. Before the internet.
So this year, on the only format I've seen it is on Yahoo.
Okay.
Yahoo Fantasy Football College.
Oh.
You literally draft Arch Manning as your quarterback. Or whoever.
Yeah. So
it's quarterback, running backs, receivers, tight ends, but then you also draft a team offense.
Okay.
And a team defense.
Now, strategy wise, would it be smart to draft your team offense as the same team that's your quarterback?
That I don't know. This is a whole. So I have already signed up for a free league.
Okay.
This is not something where, like, when fantasy football season starts, you can go on ESPN, Yahoo, whatever. You can draft now.
Yeah.
You're drafting in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
With a bunch of randos you've never met. The league time doesn't start for a few weeks, so I don't know, but I'm gonna try one.
Yeah.
And then maybe next year, create a league.
Yeah.
Absolute Sports Cards League. Right, Dom? Yes.
Dom's like, here's my wallet. Just tell me how many more leagues you want me to go into.
just pay up. But no, but I thought it was, with the NIL, you can actually start to do it with these guys.
Yeah.
But I thought too, looking long term, the more you're invested in college,
the more you're going to be prepared for your dynasty.
Correct.
Yep.
So you're especially if they're like this year, it's a free league, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be as invested if I could win $1,000 per se.
Yeah.
So that's why I said we'll try it this year, get a little feel for it. Next year, I'd like to get involved in an actual one real league. And then watch a little bit more college football. It's all for dynasty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which I learned within the past couple of weeks, that in order to truly understand a dynasty format, you have to do it for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
You have
minimum
because I've been in it for now. This is our 4th or 5th year.
Yeah.
But I'm watching my cousin. He's done fantasy as long as not as long as I have, because he's not as old as I am. But so he's done fantasy forever, gets into dynasty, and you can tell because he was one of the top 4 teams this year, or the first year. But then he was not confused, but he was kind of like really had to change his mindset, because now going into year 2, it's just a rookie draft.
Yep.
And now it's, oh shit.
You built the foundation, but now you have to figure it out.
And no matter how much you think about it when you're drafting your original team in the first year of a dynasty, you're really not, you can only like prepare so much for what your future is. Like, I know that I literally did that my team where I didn't have anybody on my team over the age of 23.
You drafted young.
Yeah. No one on my team was over the age of 23.
Yeah.
And that was by design.
Yes.
But it's a $50 league, and it's like, it's going to take me a little bit longer, but 2, 3, 4 years from now, you were a
3-year plan.
Yeah.
And you've already done it. Again, this wasn't your first league. You've been in dynasty for a few years. It was a new league. So you were able to kind of take what you've learned over these other teams and apply it here. Like, okay, I know what I did wrong with that first one.
Yeah.
And where I've had to kind of go.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of start young and then build around that. And then you have tradable assets, and you can do different stuff like that too. And we were year 1 in it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to blow it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not all the way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to blow it up a little bit, which I like to do too.
Which I should clarify. Not every player on my team was under the age of 23, because I had the first overall pick. So Josh Allen is the exception.
Yeah. But he fits the build.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your 3-year plan.
Yeah.
He'll still be there. So.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to year 2 in that league. We got rid of, Dom and I were talking before you got here. We got rid of some dead weight.
Yeah.
I liked it because you and him got into it, so it made me laugh a little bit. But
for me, it's just all about, and this is another thing about life. It's all about self-awareness. Don't be invited somewhere where you don't know anybody and act like you're running the fucking show.
Yep.
Know your role.
Agreed.
So.
Well, that's all I got, Greggy.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, what else do we got? This is a full episode. We don't even need Matt.
No, he might be just jinxed.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to say that we can actually,
not jinxed.
We can say anything we want about him because he's not going to watch it.
Well, AI could probably just add him. I'm excited for the cover. If you follow us on YouTube or you're watching on YouTube, our cover art, AI does a nice play for each episode title.
Yeah.
And it's like our cartoon versions of ourselves with the episode title and then whatever. But this one, I'm hoping to tell AI, to put Maddie on the box of Frosted Flakes, do something cool with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, different dynamic of the show with just GBG and I, but always great.
Yeah. Good times. I'm going to go battle the heat.
And I'm going to go swimming. Hopefully we'll see you 3 strong in a month and not 3 like the last.
Yeah.
See you, normies. We're out.
Later.